Member Nathan Chen and Panasonic executives will discuss the importance of creating a more sustainable future, how we can set impactful goals for our climate, and more. Please welcome to the stage Nathan Chen, Olympic gold medalist, 3-time world champion, and 6-time U.S. national champion in figure skating, and Team Panasonic athlete Jeff Warner, the VP of Corporate and Government Affairs, and Ashley Mann, Head of Social Media of Panasonic North America. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much. Oh, can't hear me. Can you hear me? No, you can now. Hello, welcome. Yes, I'm Ashley from Panasonic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I don't need to give you either an introduction and rattle off all your great accolades, but thank you both for joining me for this discussion. Addressing climate change has been the backbone of our company for quite some time now. And with Green Impact, we're re-examining our business and really looking for ways to more deeply address the urgent climate crisis. So before we begin this discussion, I really want to kick it off with our Green Impact campaign that's been out around our booth. You might have seen it, so let's show it.
Everything we know,
everything we do,
everything we love might well be at risk. The time for action is now.
Together, we can make a difference. We can be champions. Champions for sustainability.
champions for each other.
Champions for the Earth.
I mean, wow. It's gives me chills every time I see it. So Nathan, thank you for being part of this campaign. Why did you choose to take part in it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so inspired by all the efforts that Panasonic has been doing to create a greener, more sustainable future. I know that individuals have a lot of power in putting an end to the climate crisis, but it's also so up to large corporations, to politicians, to global leaders to create solutions to put an end to the climate crisis. So I'm really, again, inspired by all the work that Panasonic is doing and being a global leader in that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, Jeff, you're in D.C. You spent a lot of your career around this. I mean, what are your thoughts on climate change?
So I think you can tell by what we have going on here that we're at a tipping point, right? I think the sense of urgency is there. I see it in Washington, I see it with policymakers, I see it in companies. And I think companies like ours, and I think Panasonic is leading the way here on with our Green Impact. We recognize our role within this problem in addressing this crisis. I think as a company, we've done the math. We know that about 1% of global emissions we have some role in that. So it is beholden to us to come up with these targets that we've set. We have we're talking about a lot here this week, our Green Impact. We have net zero pledges for our supply chain facilities by 2030, Scope 3 by 2050, and then we're looking at this concept too of avoided emissions, which I think is a really interesting one, and one that I think really plays into our business plan, right? Solar panels, EV batteries, solutions for more efficient traffic patterns. These are all things that are going to go towards addressing this crisis, which I don't, it's a consensus view now that this is something we have to address.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it touches every point of interaction in our lives. And Nathan, so you're from Salt Lake City. I mean, do you see what's happening in Salt Lake? Do you see it in your community at all?
Yeah, so I'm from Salt Lake City. I was raised there. And it's my home, it's so near and dear to my heart. And I actually just came from Utah before coming here. And my family, while we're in Utah, are very conscientious about our water usage because it's been shown that the Great Salt Lake is drying and a lot of the mountain water runoff is being diverted away from the Great Salt Lake. And and there's a lot of toxic chemicals and toxic material in the Great Salt Lake. So if that becomes airborne, it could possibly make Utah a very inhospitable place. And that's a future, of course, that I can't see happen. It's my home. Like, that's where we belong, and it would be just really challenging to see something like that happen.
Yeah. I mean, when we're talking about local communities, I think back to KM and our basic business principles, contribution to society, continual improvement. I mean, how do we fit equitability for local smaller communities into this equation, Jeff?
I think it really does fit well with our founder and the principles that we've laid out, in particular contribution to society. I think a lot of the businesses that we're in, EV batteries, solar, this is going towards contributing towards a reduction of CEO and through CO2. And, you know, we talk about equitability within the climate debate. And really, the people that are on the front line in terms of the impact are those communities that are at risk, that are underserved. So these are our customers, these are our employees, and it's I think a responsibility to address this. And I think that's where it gets to where equitability comes in. I think we as a company, we're taking it very seriously.
Yeah, that's great. So we hear a lot about the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold. Can you kind of explain that a little bit? What does that mean?
So I think what we need is a science-based target, and that's, I think, there's the consensus that we've come to that 1.5, avoiding getting to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels is something we need. It's not an exact, but it's a target. And I think that allows us, within our discussions across business, with governments, within the COP27 process, something that we can aim towards. So we all have our responsibilities. Again, we talked a little about earlier, Panasonic having 1% of global emissions. That gives us something that we can aim for. And again, there is a consensus.
So the time to act for businesses is now?
I think, yes, it's now. We've been making sustainable products for 100 years, right? So I think this isn't new for us, but I think we're really, doubling down and making this a kind of a core component across all of our business lines.
Yeah. Nathan, is this something that you talk to your friends or family about? Or does this come up in conversation?
Yeah. I see it in the news, I see it on social media, and there's a lot of, actually a good amount of engagement and conversation around ways in which to end the climate crisis. And I've been really inspired by my generation in the knowledge and the passion that they have to find these solutions to put an end to the climate crisis. But again, there's no better time than now to continue working towards a more greener, sustainable future.
Yeah, I mean, does it shape the way you kind of talk about the future with your friends and family, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things, again, like I said, individuals can do a lot of things to put an end to the climate crisis. Single-use plastics is a big thing, of course. Being conscious of water, reducing your meat consumption. There's a whole list of things that individuals can do. But again, it also comes back to global, corporations and leaders to also continue, like Panasonic, to create these really impactful solutions for consumers to be able to inherently create a greener, sustainable future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, over the course of your career, Jeff, how have you seen the climate conversation change?
So I think it was, 1995 for the first Conference of Parties, and that was sort of a revolutionary step, kind of coming together on the government level. I think over that 20, 25 years since it's been, there's been progress made. It's been slow, but there's a constant target, and I think that with companies, I think, increasingly stepping up and playing an important role, I think that's going to help us move it forward. I'm really proud of the partnership that we have with Nathan and Team Panasonic. I think that really helps a company like Panasonic elevate what we're doing and the overall cause of addressing climate change. But it's something that, we're going to continue to have to keep an eye on the prize, right? It's not something that's going to be fixed in the next Congress or next year, right? This is something that we're going to be dealing with for quite a long time. But I think the more that we are talking about it like we're doing here at CES, I think the more that it'll keep the focus on the issue. And that's all the better.
Yeah, I totally agree. And thank you both for this conversation today. It is so important that we're having this discussion. But before we wrap up, Nathan, you are one busy person, or finishing at Yale last semester. You're writing books now, one jump at a time. I mean, winning gold medals. How do you do it? How do you fit this all in?
I mean, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a journey. This figure skating journey so far has just been so fulfilling, and just loved every process of it. And yeah, now I've written this book about my career, about all the people that have helped me. It's certainly not a solo effort. You know, a lot of people have supported me, guided me throughout the years. So, you know, I tried my best to highlight all these characters in my book, and yeah, it's been a really fun journey.
Awesome. Well, I have read it, and it is really great. But thank you for being a part of the Green Impact campaign. Thank you for joining me today. Nathan will be doing a book signing at 3 o'clock, I think, right here. So come back in a little bit. But thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.